6:03 on this Thursday morning, we continue to follow the breaking news out of Washington, D.C. We're learning this morning that there are no survivors in that crash that happened midair at Reagan Airport.
And the crash involved an American Airlines jet and a Black Hawk helicopter. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio is live this morning at Long Bridge Park in Arlington, Virginia, with the latest. Hey, Nicole.
Well, that's right, Walt, Jordan. And, you know, our crew was actually moved back as that search now moves to a recovery mission. Authorities say they don't believe that there are any survivors, and their big focus now is on finding those bodies and reuniting them with their loved ones. This morning, authorities have moved from a search and rescue operation to a grim recovery effort, saying there are no survivors. It comes after a commercial airline collided with a helicopter midair while approaching Reagan National Airport.
This is Alert 3. Crash.
A live stream from an EarthCam web camera capturing the moment of impact. A fireball lighting up the sky. Both aircrafts then crashing into the Potomac River, making rescue efforts difficult.
Despite all those efforts, we are now at a point where we are switching from a rescue operation to a recovery operation. At this point, we don't believe there are any survivors.
It happened just after 8:45 last night. Authorities say the jet was inbound from Wichita, Kansas, and making its final approach to Reagan with 60 passengers and 4 crew members on board. Officials say an additional 3 Army soldiers were on the Black Hawk.
From the Department of Transportation and FAA's perspective, we are going to offer full support to those on the ground, to the mayor, but also to the NTSB. Who is going to be conducting the investigation in this matter.
Ari Schulman was driving home when he looked up and saw the plane falling from the sky.
It was illuminated bright yellow underneath, and there was a spray of sparks on the underside of the plane. And I knew something was wrong because it was very, very close to the ground. It was maybe 80 or 100 feet above the ground, banked all the way to the right.
The investigation now underway as officials try to determine what happened. American Airlines CEO responding to the tragedy overnight.
I'd like to express our deep sorrow about these events.
And you can see Reagan National Airport just over my shoulder here. The CEO says that the airport will remain closed until at least 11 a.m. Walt, Jordan.
All right. Thank you, Nicole D'Antonio, live this morning.
So this is the first major commercial airplane crash in the United States since 2009. A lot of people waking up this morning, texting each other, trying to speculate as to what happened.
And there are still so many unanswered questions in this case, but what we do know is that the National Transportation Safety Board is leading the investigation. The Army and Defense Department are looking into what caused the crash as well. ABC 10's Candace Red joins us with more on this tragic story. Good morning, Candace.
Yeah, that's right. Good morning to the both of you. And as we know, an American Airlines jet and a military helicopter crashed into each other last night, and there's still no word on exactly what caused the crash. Well, the American Airlines jet was coming from Wichita, Kansas, and headed to the Ronald Reagan National Airport that's right near Washington, D.C. And as the jet tried to land at the airport, the military helicopter was conducting a training flight nearby. Well, that's when this horrible crash happened. Keep in mind, this is in some of the most tightly controlled and monitored airspace in the world. We're talking about being just over 3 miles from the White House and Capitol. Well, we reached out to aviation experts in our region to get their perspective on how something like this could possibly happen. Scott Miller is a professional pilot and an aviation professor at Sacramento City College, and he told us the weather was not a factor. He also explained that communication could have been a possible concern.
It appears the helicopter was made aware of the Canadair regional jet and was instructed to pass behind that jet. Having what's known as visual separation, where 2 aircraft operating in relatively close proximity to other, is a normal occurrence that happens every minute of every day. The assumption is the 2 aircraft have seen each other, reported each other in sight, and are able to maintain separation. Obviously, that didn't occur tonight, and that will be the main focus of the investigation to determine why that occurred.
Again, we spoke with Miller last night when all of this happened. He said investigators will look at the equipment on the helicopter and plane He also explained that the plane will have a flight data recorder and a voice recorder in the cockpit. Both will play a big role in understanding any possible interactions between the pilots. And again, Miller also expressed to us that a helicopter operates more slowly and does not go as high as an airliner. Well, that means the helicopter does not have the same type of equipment as the plane. So investigators will look into other things from the helicopter, like switch positions, to determine what the pilots were using at the time of the crash. Jordan.
All right. Thank you, Candace. Good information there.
I've been texting back and forth with people, and I know everybody's Air Force pilot that I've known for years. Candace, he said that that space was the airplane's space, and that the helicopter was told to go left, and it went right for some reason. So that's the preliminary thought as to what may have happened here. So, Candace, thank you. I know you stay on that. And we've been covering this breaking news on our ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. We'll continue to monitor any updates and bring it to you live on the app, the ABC 10 Plus streaming app. It is free to download on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, wherever you stream on your TV.